Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program 2 Exploration Mode. In the last episode, we did one of the biggest milestones of the series, and that is landing on the Mun. And we did really well in it, actually a little too well, because the final stage wasn't really necessary to land because I was able to use the second to last one to land perfectly, but we came home safely. But in this episode, we are actually not going to be doing the primary missions. We're actually going to be doing the secondary missions because we need to show them some love too, you know? So we have a couple here that we need to do. So we have the perfect circle. Periapsis Rocket Supplies is using us for using their company name. We explain that every orbit has a periapsis and that it's not copyright infringement, but their lawyers think otherwise. They argue that if we make our orbit a perfect circle, we can just have one big apoapsis and, quote, leave periapsis out of it. Our legal department needs our help. Make that circle and tell us what happens. So we have to establish an orbit around Kerbin within an AP and P, each between 99 kilometers and 101 kilometers. So that seems pretty easy enough to do. And then there's this one for escaping Kerbin. Hi, Director. The Rokia Inc. Quality Assurance Department has discovered that the fine print on their ladders may only shield them from liability when their ladders are used within Kerbin's gravity. They've asked us to take one of their ladders outside the environment to verify its safety. This means flying outside of Kerbin's gravitational SOI, sphere of influence, and orbiting Kerbal, our sun. Hopefully, the ladder will keep being a ladder so we can all go home. So we just have to exit the gravitational SOI of Kerbin. And the final one is Lonely Satellite. We've gotten some reports that one of our satellites looks lonely. I don't get it, but our probe engineers keep staring mournfully at the sky every time one of them passes overhead. Sometimes they cry. We better give the satellite a friend. Orbit Kerbin with the probe core, antenna, and solar panel. So we'll actually be putting in our first satellite as well. So let's just go ahead and dive into the VAB, and we're going to build ourselves a couple rockets. So I think the biggest one we want to do, which I think would probably be a good idea, is just sending a probe core outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence. So we're just going to be doing a lot of satellites, except for the perfect circle mission. So I think what we'll do is we're just going to go into command, and we have a bunch of these guidance units. And we want to make sure that we have something that has a good amount of electric charge and obviously a good amount of control when it comes to maneuvering around. So we're just going to use one of the best ones, which is the Hex2 remote guidance unit. And obviously, I don't really see a point in putting a parachute on here, only because we're not going to bring it back down. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a, I don't know if, let's see, view more. Max range 36.0 GM, 200 mm. Oh, I think that's, okay. Is that million meters? 200 million meters? 36 gigameters? I'm sorry, I don't really know. You might have to tell me in the comments below with that, but we're gonna go with just this one because I think that this has the most amount. This has the most distance. I extended it. Oh, that's the wrong way. All right, we had to do it this way, right? Yes, we do. Okay, and clearly we also want some science. So I want to bring in the Science Junior, which we haven't used yet. This is just a smaller version of the Science Junior, and you know, that's pretty much self-explanatory. We need electrical power, so we definitely need to put in some batteries, and I'll just put in a few that are just surrounding here, just like so. And for the body, I'm just gonna make a small body here, just like this, and this will have the solar panels with it as well. And we don't really need to have that big of solar panels because we're not going super far away from Kerbal, so we could just do the OX-4L And we could just have 2 of these here, just like so. Look at that, that's really cool. We can also add more. I think 3 might look more appealing. Yeah, that's better. These ones are non-retractable, so once we once we bring them out, we can't bring them back in, but there's no reason for us to really worry about that, to be fair. All right, so this should be enough for us to actually, get into a good position for us to explore or to get out of Kerbin's sphere of influence and be around Kerbal, and to get some science along the way as well. So this should be decent enough. And I think having these here are good too. I'm trying to copy them, but I'm just gonna get another set because these have 100 electric charge, so 500, probably 700 might be the best here. Yeah, we'll do it right there too. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to make a stack decoupler, and we need to also create a casing here for this. So that way, in case we go really fast, things don't burn up too fast. Things don't burn up as quickly, and things don't get as hot. So there we go, just like that. Now we can actually make the real body of the ship. Now, to get into Kerbin's... to get into orbit around Kerbin, we need at least, if we look at our trip planner, so for Kerbin low orbit, 3,400 delta V. That's as much as we need to get into Kerbin low orbit. Kerbin entry and exit is another 930. So I think, do they have Kerbal listed here? Because, yeah, here it is, Kerbal. So, yep, and then entry and exit, Kerbal elliptical, Kerbal low orbit, Kerbal surface, which there's no real reason for us to land on Kerbal, so we're just gonna ignore these. We just need over 4,000 delta V to get out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. So it's fine. We're fine. All right, so this here. So 4,751, but we also want to ensure that we have more than plenty. So we also want to use adapters as well, because adapters are important to have. And we have something new here. We have a stack tri-coupler, and a quad coupler, but I think their tri-coupler is more than enough for this rocket. We don't need something too fancy or too big overall. We just need something that can get the job done. That's all we need. Just like so. And 2 of these should be good enough because we're going to have 3 engines overall underneath them. So this, and we have to do 1 at a time, which is unfortunate. But this is okay. Just like that. 7,595. So that should be, and these should all be together, like so. I don't know why they decided to separate like that, but that's okay. And there we go, 7,595. This should be more than enough to get us into Kerbal's orbit. This will be easy to do. Okay, so, and the last but not least, we need the clamps. Which the clamps are kind of being silly, so I'm just gonna do 1 at a time. 1 there. 1 there. And 1 here. That's good enough, I think. Yeah. We have to put all these together too. Just like so. Alright, now we can go ahead and launch our vessel. Look at this beauty. It's not even that big, actually. Compared to the other rockets in the future, yeah. Alright, sorry for the cut there, but here we go. Let's get started. Let's hit the go button, and we'll go to space. And we have liftoff, which are going kind of fast, which I don't want to go too fast. We'll keep it at 90. All right, here we go. We have complete liftoff. It's always fun lifting off the first vessel and going on an adventure. Alright, so I'm going to start turning slowly as we gain more and more speed. Because we definitely want to get that horizontal speed as well as vertical speed. Until we get to a certain height in our apoapsis, then we're just going to want to go completely horizontal. But here we go. We are smooth first takeoff so far. Look at this. And as you can see with the probe, it's just like it's just a computer. Not even a Kerbal or anything like that, just a computer. Alright, I'm gonna start turning more horizontal faster now, just because of how much speed we're gaining. And our apoapsis is climbing really, really high. And maybe I might be able to get the achievement for getting this perfect circle before actually getting to... before getting out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. So we'll get to 100,000 meters. There we go. Right there. We still have quite a few... we have quite a bit of fuel left over, which, again, this was more than enough, so this is perfect. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up time as much as we can, so 4 times speed. And at the same time, I should also start turning prograde. Let me go ahead and just break out of this. We will not decouple, but jettison that. And extend the panels, since we're in space already. This will give us power. And the constant power that we have will still be able, will make us be able to turn more. I can't talk tonight. Oh my gosh. I'm recording this kind of like 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, between 1 and 2. So it's quite funny. All right, we're just gonna, I'm not gonna speed up time because I know that the prograde node is going to move faster and we're just going to sit in the same position, so I'm just going to wait till we're really close to the 100,000 mark, and then I'm just going to burn. I'm going to also move this along fast as well, so that way I can get ahead of it. Just like so. Alright, and then we're gonna burn. Alright, and burn some more. Alright, there we go. Hey, we completed a mission. Look at that. Lonely satellite, orbit Kerbin with a probe core, antenna, and solar panel. Oh yeah, that's right. Which we did do that. That is awesome. All right, so I'm gonna try to do the perfect circle, which all I'm gonna do is just burn this all the way up to, well, I'll just speed up till I get up higher. Then we're gonna go prograde. I'm just gonna probably cut this bit out. All right, so I'm bringing down the apoapsis, that way we're between 99 and 101 kilometers on each side. And then I'll just give it a little bit of a boost because look how close we are to the goal here. Very, very, very close. So if I just push it out just a tiny, tiny bit more, then we'll be fine. And there we go. We did it. All right, that's another one down. Lonely Satellite and Perfect Circle. But now we have to do the real mission, which is just getting out of Kerbin's sphere of influence, which the way that I'm going to do it is I'm actually going to go out from behind Kerbin's orbital direction. So I'm going to go this way because Kerbin is orbiting, I believe it's orbiting this way, right? If I'm not mistaken, either they're orbiting this way or this way. And I can't really tell without having to go faster. But anyway, all I'm going to do is just burn out this way and we'll just, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, I guess. It would make sense if it was this direction. I'll figure it out. All right, so my main assumption is that where the line is grayed out more, that's the line that it's already passed through, or that's where the body's already passed through. And the bold line is, I don't know. I have no idea, but we'll figure it out. We got it. I just need to burn in a direction so that way I'm in Kerbal's, where I'm orbiting Kerbal instead of Kerbin. So either way, we just need to get out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. It doesn't really matter if we're closer to it, farther from it. I do technically want to be closer to it, just that way the solar panels get more solar absorption into the solar panels. But I don't think it really matters at the end of the day. To me, it doesn't really matter. So, and the good thing is that with debris, is that we can just go ahead and just delete it. And there we are. Look at that. Okay, so I was right. Yep, I was correct. That is the direction we need to go. So my theory was correct after all. But the good news is that actually we have this stage left over. So that is really cool to know. So we can either continue to burn in the prograde direction where we're getting closer to Kerbal, which actually I don't mind at all. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to burn for just a little bit. Just a little bit. And we can go until we're probably between Eve and Moho, which is totally okay with me. Yep, and we'll stop right there. There we go. All right, and now we'll just speed up time, and we'll get the heck out of here. And I'll also destroy this debris too, which I forgot to name this. I can rename it. I can always rename this thing. Instead of it being default, I can always rename it. But there we go. Goodbye, Kerbin. Goodbye. Goodbye, Kerbin. Goodbye, Mun. Goodbye, Minmus. We are skedaddling. And there we are. We are now in Kerbal's sphere of influence. I mean, we technically have been in a way, but more so we are actually orbiting Kerbal instead of Kerbin or any other celestial body for that matter. And we can actually take some science now with the environment survey. So we get 100 science data. The lab is investigating several solar flares. Shiny. Yep. And what we can do is, I need to also extend the antenna, which I totally forgot to do the entire time. But there we go. We can now transmit all of this data, which we can see at the top right are vessel resources, which is how much power we have. We have plenty of power to deliver this data. And plus we're still close to Kerbin relative to anything else, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, there's no data to transfer anymore. It was just this. But we got 100 science, and we also got extra science for all the other secondary missions that we did. So this was quite the success. And I'm sure if we get closer to Kerbal, which I'm not going to speed up time, I'm just going to wait for other missions that we do, wait till it gets closer here and see at some point if we actually need to do more science gathering. I might even bring down the Apoapsis so that way we're closer to Kerbal, even closer to it, so that we don't have more of that much of an elliptical orbit. But let's go ahead and head back to mission control so we can turn in all of these. Submit. Well done. And right after opening statements, you have great timing. We were able to show a circular orbit still has a high and a low point by using the feed from your mission. Our lawyer also did a compelling demonstration with a hula hoop. Things got heated after the Periapsis team challenged us to a hula off, but luckily our team won. You should have heard the closing statements. Do you trust a legal team that doesn't hoop? I rest my case. Powerful, really. I wish you could have been there. Alright, there it is. Yay! We got the perfect circle. Alright, lonely satellite. Excellent. Better internet connection. Plus, we got footage of the satellite smiling. I assume it's smiling. I can't read satellite facial expressions. Maybe there's a bit of bounce in their orbit? We might have to make this a weekly thing. Friendships are so hard to come by. There it is. Satellite and escaping Kerbin. Yes! So glad you're back. The crew must have a glorious tan. Well, from the front anyway. At least the ladder survived. Maybe we should send up a pod filled with corn kernels. Sun-roasted popcorn should be our official snack. I'll go butter up the snack department. While I do that, can you get rid of the quality assurance manager? He keeps walking around and judging all of our ladders. I've asked him to leave several times, and he just gets this distant look in his eyes and says, "They need me." Who are they? The ladders? Who knows? But there we go. And it looks like we have its eccentric, which orbit Kerbin with a periapsis of 70 to 150 kilometers and an apoapsis of 300 kilometers to 8,400 kilometers, which this will be another good one for a satellite. So we're going to track that mission. But we need to go to the R&D center because we have science we need to spend. We have 425 science, which is a lot. And we actually have enough to even go through one of these, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think having medium launchers is in our best interest. Yep, I'm just going to go right into it because we're going to need to do big missions later. So if we head back to mission control, next time in Kerbal Space Program 2 exploration mode, we're going to do the next big mission, which is finding the mysterious signal on the Mun. So that's going to be quite interesting. And we'll get a mission brief on that as well in the next episode. But if you guys did enjoy this, be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that. And don't forget to hit subscribe as well because that lets me know that you guys enjoy the content on the channel and would like to see more. I've been Savvy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. See you later.